Shalom. All praises to Yahweh. Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kadash. The one to see apostles and elders of Great Millstone rule well. And Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of Sarah in truth. Yeah, got this article again. Just going into how, this whole circumstance, whole situation is gonna hit globally, man. Because it's first of all, it's a global economy. Everyone's interreliant for different things, and you've had back to back, just Esau system's been taking back to back L's, which is really why now it's got to the point where it's just a bunch of things are piled up, and it's turned into a complete shit show. So it says what price pinch. Global economy caught in perfect storm. It's on Yahoo News. It says what? And even the picture there. Them empty ass aisles. And then there as well. Says from beef bowls in Tokyo to fried chicken in London, consumers are beginning to feel the pinch from the surge in costs coursing through the global economy. The rebound in economic activity as sea restrictions are eased has exposed shortages across supply chains, with companies scrambling to find workers, ships, and even fuel to power factories, threatening recovery. Britain's biggest chicken producer warned that the country's 20-year cheap food binge is coming to an end. A man said 20-year, like not even a year, 2, 3, like 20, like 2 decades of like it being good. People are like, no one's ready to adjust to them kind of prices. Cheap food binge coming to an end, and said food price inflation could hit double digits. The days when you could feed a family of 4 for £3 chicken are coming to an end, Ranjit Singh Boparan, owner of the Two Sisters Group, said. An acute shortage of warehouse workers, truckers, and butchers as the world's 5th largest economy deals with Brexit as well as C-19 is exacerbating strains which are being felt globally by international business. IKEA is leasing more ships, buying containers, and rerouting goods between warehouses as the world's largest furniture brand seeks to mitigate a perfect storm of global supply chain disruptions. John Abramson, chief exec, like I said, man said, it's not just drivers, it's butchers, it's guys working in warehouses, and that's like Brexit is decimated all kinds of industries, and people like had no clue these things are being held up by people that either aren't going to be staying because it's just long post Brexit, or they can't even stay because of Brexit. So there's industries that have been decimated that people didn't even know. I was talking about the fucking, the fishing, or getting our waters back and blah blah blah. Who the fuck you sending that fish to? Then man find out that only like a minority, I think it was like 15 to 20% of the fish that's caught in the UK waters is even sold in the UK before Brexit. Because why? In the in the UK they eat some of the creepy crawly things, but most of the super creepy crawly things that should be sold off to to France, to other countries, in surrounding countries in Europe. So and that's what made it sustainable. Now they're like, oh shit, that's all gone. Well, no, they're still doing it. They're just getting less money, or there's it's hilarious, man. Men actually just hung themselves Uh, so yeah, IKEA is leasing more ships, buying containers, and rerouting goods between warehouses as the world's largest furniture brand seeks to mitigate a perfect storm of global supply chain disruptions. John Abramson, chief executive at Inter IKEA, told Reuters IKEA warns supply chain disruptions likely to last into 2022. He expects the crisis to extend into 2022, with the biggest challenge getting goods out of China, where around a quarter of IKEA products are made. Yeah, China as well. And if China does actually fucking look to do serious work in Taiwan, that's gonna disrupt it even more. It's yeah, and whatever goods are coming out of Taiwan as well. It's just gonna get peak, and that's man. IKEA said stores in North America have been hardest hit by product shortages, followed by Europe. In the US, Joe Biden on Wednesday urged the private sector to help ease supply chain blockages that are threatening to disrupt the US holiday season. Biden said the Port of Los Angeles would join the Port of Long Beach in working around the clock to unload 500,000 containers, while Walmart, Target, and other big retailers would expand overnight operations to help out. Even in Japan, where weak growth has meant the prices of many things as well as wages haven't risen much in decades, consumers and businesses are facing a price shock for basics such as coffee and beef bowls. Yeah, coffee's one thing, so the prices go up. And I buy that semi-regularly, so I'm gonna kind of observe and see, because it's like that's one thing where supplies are meant to be difficult. But it's more or less everything. Everything, the price has started dipping up, and that's the thing is as over time, as more shipments come out, because people might still have in store, like still be using from storage stuff that they ain't even paid like the increased prices for, because now the stuff being sold from warehouses could still be being sold on that that previous price, but then once it shifts over, the price is gonna go up, and people are gonna have to pay because got a business to run. So Japan's core consumer inflation only stopped falling in August, snapping a 12-month deflationary spell. Economists and policymakers expect to see recent price rises reflected in official data in the coming months, with central bankers on high alert and inflation in Spain, Ireland, and Sweden hitting 13-year highs. European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde repeated that the upswing in Europe is seen as temporary, and said there were no signs that the recent surge is becoming embedded in wages. The impact of these factors should fade out in the course of next year, dampening annual inflation. Yeah, so it's all these things are gonna compound back to back, man. It's a variety of things hitting globally, in Europe, in China, in the States, like all over the shop. And that's the thing. It's like when you go to the supermarket, you're getting products from a bunch of different places, and most people didn't even think about this. Now it's like, yeah, it's gonna be things from certain places and start going up. You're gonna see less of them, and then simple things you didn't think about, it's gonna get peak. Second Esdras 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Yeah, that's what's going down. That's what you're hearing about. What's going on with Russia and previously Crimea, and now Ukraine. Same thing with China, with previously Hong Kong, and now Taiwan. So you hear going on between Iran and the state of Israel. There's these things, that sedition, that conflict. It's all in prophecy, and it's gonna get to that raw warfare, man. People getting beaten over the head, people getting laying down, because hey, this is it, man. This is that final judgment. It says, invade one another. They shall not regard their kings or princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid. Yeah, the men are gonna be brought down. They're gonna be in that state where they're destroyed. And how much more so the women? It says, "What a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with a sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." Yeah, that's how it's gonna go. It's gonna get that aggy. It's gonna hit that much of a crisis point to where people are gonna be like, oh shit, nah, fuck this, and then they'll start getting on purge levels of of wild, to basically ensure they can continue to go on, man, that they survive. Yeah, because what? Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah, it's gonna be troubled times, just like with the food, just like with different supply chains, with energy, with job availability, inflation, all these things are gonna be hitting, and it's gonna get down to that point where people are gonna be moving hella wild. That's why people are getting bus ups over petrol. How much more so when it's like, okay, there's the last drops, there's no more petrol coming in. People are gonna be getting suplexed into the earth, for that petrol. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.